Okay. Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 11th November 2023, brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Okay, let's get into the today's newspaper analysis. So mentioned in this slide are the list of articles which you are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. So have a look at it. Okay, let's get into the analysis of each and every topic one by one. Seeding clouds to clean the air. See, the news is related to the Delhi government is going to use the cloud seeding technique to clear the air pollution that is prevailing in the winter time of the Delhi. So since the news is related to pollution, so it is related to civil service examination in prelim stage under a topic called general issues on environmental ecology. Similarly, under mains GS paper 3 environment under a subtopic called conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and environmental impact assessment. Okay, let's get into the analysis of the news. So what the news is saying is that the Delhi government said it is going to, or it is considering the usage of cloud seeding technique to reduce the dust pollution that is prevailing in the winter time of this winter time in Delhi. So what is this cloud seeding technique? In a cloud, water vapors actually condense, and that condensation will reach a level where the weightage of those droplets will be very high, so that it will get released from the atmosphere and it will be reaching the ground of the earth. So the droplets will be forming around a nuclei, that is a particle. So when these two droplets are colliding, the size of the droplets will get increased, and the size of the droplets will get extended until it reaches a point where the entire cloud gets saturated, and then the rain will comes down, and this droplet will falls down in the form of rain. So this is what the thing that is going in the cloud. So what is this cloud seeding is about? The cloud seeding is the process where a cloud is injected. So the cloud is injected along with the salt like silver iodide as well as the potassium iodide, which acts as the seed around which the droplets the cloud will be formed, and these droplets will collide with each other to form a larger droplet, so that they will be reaching a saturation point and they will be coming down to the earth in the form of rain. So this is what the thing is about. See, so this seeding technique will accelerate the microphysical process, that is the atmospheric process, or the process that is involved in making a droplet, small moisture into the huge rainfall. So it will be accelerated by this cloud seeding technique. So previously it was implemented in India during the monsoon as well as pre-monsoon time. Usually during the monsoon as well as pre-monsoon time, the cloud will be already present, and those cloud will also contain some amount of moisture, but it is going to be tried for the first time in the winter season, where there will be absence of cloud and also there will be lack of moisture. So this is what the process of cloud seeding is, and this is why the reason why it is being implemented is going to be implemented in Delhi is to reduce the dust pollution. So what is the need for the process to work? So what is the need? If the process of the cloud seeding need to work, means there need to be a cloud first of all, and that cloud need to have certain amount of depth, so which is completely absent during winter time. The only silver lining during the northern part of the country's winter season is the western disturbance. The western disturbance is nothing but the rising of moisture from the Caspian or the Mediterranean Sea, which will be traveling to India, and it will reach condensation and it will downpour in the form of rainfall during the winter time in the northern part of the country. So during that time the clouds will be formed. So this time can be used as the potential time period for the success of the cloud seeding technique. but we have to wait and see what kind of clouds that is going to be formed during this western disturbance period. So this is what the need for the process to get successfully worked. That is cloud seeding success earlier. What is the earliest success is, see, nearly the previous time or the previous period where the cloud seeding technique has been used, the region has witnessed nearly 18% enhancement in the form of rainfall. But still the experts are in a little bit confusion about the microphysical physical component of the clouds. Still they are not aware about, they totally aware about what might be the physical as well as the chemical components that is going on in the cloud formation as well as the rainfall formation. So what is the scope of the cloud seeding in tackling the air pollution is? So previously the cloud seeding that was tried in India is to bring rainfall whenever there is a drought like situation, so that this cloud seeding technique is acted as silver lining for the agricultural production. But this is the first time that is going to be implemented for clearing the dust that is prevailing in the Delhi because of the slow air movement and also because of the farm fires that is happening around the NCR regions. And what the experts are saying is that this cloud seeding technique or the rain that is being brought out by the injection of the cloud in the atmosphere, this method is only temporary for clearing the dust. It is not a permanent solution, and at the same time a significant amount of rain is required to tackle the air pollution. And also most of the pollution like particulate matters as well as ground level ozone requires very high amount of rainfall. So that if very high amount of rainfall is required means more amount of cloud seeding techniques or the process or the investment that is going to be made in the cloud seeding technique will be very huge, so that the more amount of rainfall will be brought out, so which will be necessary for the clearing of the ground level ozone as well as the other particulate matters. And even if they are clearing this kind of pollutants also, it is only of temporary nature and it will not permanently solve the problem of Delhi air pollution. This is what the scope. So how the rain will be clearing the air pollution is, so as the rainfall drops through the atmosphere, it tends to attract all the particles that is present in the atmosphere towards itself. As a result of which, since the droplets are attracting the dust particles that is prevailing in the atmosphere, it will enable the dust particles to settle down on the earth's surface. So this is how the rain will clear the air pollution. So this is what this, as I said, it is already a temporary in nature and it requires significant amount of rainfall. So what are the things need to be studied further is, we should know about the World Health Organization standards in terms of air pollution, and also what is the air quality index in India and what are the pollutants being measured under the index, and what is the national ambient air quality standards, and then what is Air Act as well as Water Act. So these are all the other areas which we need to be aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Rapid melting ice sheet in western Antarctica now unavoidable. This is what it could mean. According to the publications made by journal Nature, what it has said is that the melting of ice sheet in the western Antarctica is not avoidable. So if the process will continue, it is going to increase the mean sea level. This is what the research paper brought by journal Nature is about. So since the news is relating to climate change and its impact on Antarctica, so under prelims it is related to general issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity and climate change. Similarly under mains GS paper 3, environmental and ecology under conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and environmental impact assessment. So this is how the news has been linked with the civil service syllabus in prelims as well as main stage. So let's have a look into the explanation part of it. So the rapid melting of the ice sheet is unavoidable, as I said during the start of the news. If lost completely, it will be leading to sea rise level by 5.3 meters or 14.7 feet, which is very huge. And even in the best case scenario, that is, even if we are going to limit the climate temperature rise within 1.5 degrees Celsius, as we have committed in the Paris deal, this melting will not be stopped. And the Western Antarctica, even during those kind of efforts that has been made by country, also the Western Antarctica will get continue to warmer 3 times faster than in the last 20th century, leading to increased melting of ice only. So what they are saying is that even this effort is not going to limit the melting of Western Antarctica ice sheet. This is what the thing is about. So what is this ice sheet about? So ice sheet is nothing but a mass of glacial ice which covers an area up to 50,000 square kilometer, and it is different from sea ice. Sea ice is nothing but a free floating ice that is prevailing in the surface of the ocean. How the sea ice is formed is because of the freezing of sea water. So this is what the difference between the ice sheet as well as sea ice. And there are 2 types of ice sheet that is present in the earth. One is Greenland, another is Antarctica ice sheet. And nearly 2/3 of the fresh water on earth is present in these 2 ice sheet only. And the gain in ice sheet, that is the strength or the weight of the ice sheet has got increased, means it will be leading to decrease in the water rise. If the strength of the gain of the ice sheet is going to be reduced, means what it is saying is that the melting in ice sheet is happening, so it will be leading to sea level rise. So this is what the thing is. So how the Western Antarctica is melting is because of the weakening of ice shelf. Ice shelf is nothing but the edge of the ice sheet, which acting as a pillar of support for the land based glaciers behind them. So this is what the glacier is, and this is what the ice shelf is. So ice shelf will have meeting with the warm ocean waters. Because of the warmness of the ocean water, this ice shelf is getting melted, as a result of which the land based ice sheet that is present beneath the ice shelf is losing its support, which in turn will be leading to decrease in the ice sheet. This is how the ice sheet is being melting in the Western Antarctica part. So this is what the thing is. Okay. So the articles before the research paper has been introduced, they have been they used the sample size of nearly 4 years of warming period, and also they use the best case as well as worst case scenario. Like in the case of best case scenario of, even if the global countries could able to contain the temperature rise by 1.5 degrees Celsius, as we have committed in the Paris deal, the ice sheet melting in the Western Antarctica is not avoidable. Even this is the perfect best case scenario. In the worst case scenario, like in which the coal, oil and gas usage is uncontrolled, during that time the melting in the Western Antarctica will be very high, which in turn will be leading to drastic increase in the mean sea level. So this is what the finding is about, and this is the worrying nature of the climate change. So what need to be studied for this? We should know about what is United Nations framework on conventional climate change and its historical aspect. Similarly, the recently concluded G20 climate action, and also we should be aware of the map of both the Greenland as well as the Antarctica ice sheet, and also we should be aware of United Nations CCD as well as United Nations CBD. So these are all the other areas which we need to be aware of. So with this, we have reached the end of this topic. Index of industrial production growths fall to 3 months low and rises year on year. This is what the news is. Since the news is related to the output of the index of industrial production, which is brought out by the Central Statistical Organization, under prelims it is related to economic as well as social development. Similarly, under mains it is related to Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resource, growth, development and employment, which comes under GS paper 3 economic and development. So what the index of industrial production said is that the IIP index slipped to 3-month low of 5.8% compared to in September month, compared to 14-month high of 10.3% that happened in August period. It is mainly because of high base effect and also because of the subdued manufacturing, which happened because of lesser consumer output, and the consumer demand is also getting reduced. That is the reason why it has impact on the manufacturing or the consumer goods output. The manufacturing sector, which has been given nearly 77% weightage in the index of industrial production, has grew only by 4.5% in September as against 2% in 2022. And the factory output for this 6 months, that is from April to September, grew at only 6.6% from the 7.1% from the previous year. And the consumption recovery is the only way or the important way to recover the subdued manufacturing output. So this is what the explanation of the news is about. So what is this index of industrial production is? It is the prime indicator for economic and development, which is computed by, as I said, CSO, Central Statistical Office, which comes under Ministry of Statistics Program Implementation on monthly basis, and it has a base year of 2011-12, and it will calculate the industry's growth under two sectors. One is broad sectors, another is used based sectors. The broad sectors contains mining, manufacturing as well as electricity, which covers the industry sector in the broader term. In the case of used based sector, the industry is classified as basic goods, capital goods as well as industrial goods. So under this kind of only industry has been classified, based on which only the index of industrial production is being calculated by Central Statistical Organization. So what significance does this IIP holds is that, see, the government organization as well as the government organizations like Ministry of Finance, Reserve Bank of India and any other department which is related to the government agencies will use this data for their own policy making. Secondly, IIP is the only index or the report which measures the physical volume of the production, and it acts as the input for calculation of gross value addition of manufacturing sector, which in turn will be contributing to the overall compilation of gross domestic product in India. And also at the same time, it is used extensively by financial intermediaries, policy analysts, private companies for their own analytical purposes, so that it will also contribute to the policy making of their respective organization. So this is what the significance of the IIP index is about. And then in that IIP index, 8 sectors have been identified as core sectors, so which is given a weightage of 40.3% out of the overall 100%. So what are all the 8 sectors are? So I have ranked the sectors according to their respective weightages. The first is refineries product, and then electricity, steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement as well as fertilizers. This order is very important according to the prelims perspective. So what are all things which we need to be aware of is, we should be aware of manufacturing policy of India and what are all the goals it has set in the policy and what are the goals we have achieved and what are all the goals which we need to be achieved, we should be aware of it. Second thing, we should be aware of PLI scheme, which is been recently introduced to promote the manufacturing sector at the domestic level, and what are all the sectors have been included in the PLI scheme. These are all the things we should be aware of the PLI scheme. Thirdly, we should be aware of the recent industrial policy. So these are all the other things we should be aware of in relation to the news. And with this, we have reached the end of this topic. BALER, a machine for off-site management of farm stubble. So the news is related to the farm fires and its related management by the government through the BALE machines. Since the news is related to farm fires and its management, under prelims it is related to general issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity, climate change. Similarly, under GS paper 3 environment, under a subtopic called conservation, environmental pollution, degradation, environmental impact assessment. So let's have a look into the explanation part of it. See, nearly 2000 BALER machines are getting operated in Punjab, and out of this 2000 BALER machine, 1268 BALER machine are subsidized by government in the range of 50 to 80% subsidies under the government's crop residue management scheme. And the paddy crop, which is mostly grown in Punjab as well as Haryana, is responsible for leaving most amount of stubble in the cultivation area, and farmers, to get rid of this stubbles, they are using the way of burning the stubbles, which is the simple as well as quickest way to clear the stubbles that is prevailing in their farm area, so that they could able to prepare the land for the next rabi cycle. And the superseeder technique, which is the in situ technique, which is being incorporated in their crop residue management, is being used to incorporate the stubble inside the soil. But what the farmers are saying is that because of the superseeders that has been used in their farming areas, it is creating or it is attracting more amount of insects towards the land, which in turn is leading to more usage of pesticides, so that it is increasing their input cost, and also at the same time it is reducing the soil health, and at the same time it is reducing the crops efficiency. So that is the reason why the farmers are resorting towards the ex situ method of using BALES machine. See, the BALES machine usually compress the agriculture residues into manageable as well as transportable bales. So how they will be making it into a transportable bale is that, firstly, the cutters will be attached, the tractors will be attached towards cutters, and this cutters will be used to cut the stubbles that is prevailing in the field. And after that only the baler machine will be fitted along with the tractors to compress as well as make those cutted stubbles into a transportable bales. After that only they will be transported towards the industries. So this is what the thing is about. What the farmers are saying in that it is having one negative thing is that even the government is giving subsidy, there is additional expenses like the cutters need to be bought by the farmers, and also at the same time the fuels for the running the machine is also burned by the farmers. Such kind of things or the concerns are also being raised by the farmers in relation to the bales machine. And at the same time the bales machine cost nearly 14.5 lakh, and the cutters as well as the fuels are costing them additional cost of nearly 2.3 to 3 lakhs. And according to the data, the available bales machine could able to cover only 15 to 18% of the farm areas in the Punjab. So that what the data are saying is that the bales machines are not sufficient to cover the entire field, agriculture field of Punjab as well as Haryana. So this is what the thing in relation to the crop residue management of Punjab is about with relation to the bales machine. So what are all the areas which we need to be aware of is, we should know about what are all the contributory factors for farm fires. Secondly, we should know about the Delhi air pollution and what are all the things or the policies that has been made by their respective state governments as well as central governments to reduce the Delhi air pollution. Thirdly, we should be aware of Environmental Protection Act. So these are all the things which we need to be aware of. And with this, we have reached the end of this topic. And let's look into the today's practice prelims question. So this is what the today's practice prelims question. I want those students, those who are watching this session online, please do comment the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. So with this, we have reached the end of today's session. Please do like, comment, share as well as subscribe the Ganesh AS YouTube channel so that you could able to receive the daily current affairs sessions notification and also any other important initiatives that will be brought to you in the future by Ganesh AS Academy. Thank you.